Hello friends, welcome to the new lecture in the series of Indian Councils Act. Today we are going to study Indian Councils Act of 1892. Let's see what it says. Now, Indian Councils Act of 1892, it increased the number of non-official members in the central as well as provincial legislative councils. Here I repeat once again, non-official members are nothing but Indians who are associated with legislative councils of viceroy in the center and governors in the provinces. So this act says that the number of non-official members in central and provincial legislative councils should be increased. That is, governor and viceroys should nominate more Indians and they should expand their legislative councils. They should have more legislative functions. But at the same time, they said that these legislative councils should have official majority. Official majority means the official members who are sent by British Parliament and British Cabinet to assist Viceroy in the center and Governor in the state. So official majority should be maintained. It means the members of British Cabinet or the members sent by British Government and British Parliament should be more in legislative councils of Viceroy and Governor. The most important development was this act increased the functions of legislative council. They were increased. They were given the function first to discuss the budget, then they were given the functions to raise the questions to executive. It means they can raise question to the members of executive council. These two things gave voice to official as well as non-official members to put finger on wrongdoings in the executive functions of viceroy and governor through their representatives. So this was the most important development of the act. It increased the functions of legislative council to discuss the budget and to raise the questions to the executive, who were the most important implementer of all the provisions of the budget. Now, another important thing was viceroy were given this right to nominate some non-official members on central legislative council based on recommendations of provincial legislative council and Bengal Chamber of Commerce. It means provincial legislative councils and Bengal Chamber of Commerce were given representation on central legislative council. I repeat once again, Provincial Legislative Council and Bengal Chamber of Commerce were given representation on Central Legislative Council through the nomination of non-official members by Viceroy. Also, governors were given the right to nominate some non-official members and provincial legislative council on the recommendations of district boards, then municipalities, then universities, then trade associations, zamindars and chambers of various industries. So here two things are very clear. Viceroy had the right to nominate non-official members on Central Legislative Council. Governors had the right to nominate non-official members on Provincial Legislative Council. This way of nomination on Central Legislative Council and Provincial Legislative Council, it widened the representation in legislative councils. It gave more and more voice to various stakeholders who are related with making the law, who are the part and parcel of implementing those laws. This increased the participatory nature of historical development in India. Now, the most important thing was this act made a limited and indirect provision related to for the use of election in filling up some of the non-official seats both in central and provincial legislative council. It was not direct provision related to election, and the most important thing, the word election was not used anywhere in this act. I repeat once again, the word election is not used anywhere in this particular act. This was simple. The word nomination was used, nomination by viceroy or nomination by governor in provinces. Thank you very much. Keep watching the videos and keep sharing the videos. We will come up with more and more videos in the days to come. Thank you very much.